Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. So we're gonna react to Watch to Learn NBA History. Okay, so wow, wow, such a eye-intriguing title to make me click on this video, Johnny Arnett. Anyway, so let's get right into this. I mean, you don't even give me an explanation as to why I'm clicking on this damn video. Just told me to watch the video to learn more NBA history.
Today, I wanted to make a quick video sharing some quality games that you might also want to watch while you're at home. I don't even know if this is something you guys are interested in, to be honest, but I've been going back and watching classic games since VHS tapes were around, so this has always been a major part of my life. I'll be posting links to these games in the pinned comment below. I tried to find the most high quality versions of each game, but there might be even better versions out there, but I tried my best. So without any further ado, let's get into it. First off is the 2007 USA Scrimmage game. This was simply a meaningless exhibition game between the United States players before they took on the rest of the world. But don't tell them this game was meaningless. These were players who were motivated and focused on returning the gold medal to the United States, and it showed on the court. Technically, this wasn't an all-star game, but if it was, it would likely be considered the greatest all-star game of all time. The white team was led by LeBron James, the blue team was led by Kobe Bryant, and these were the two leaders who would be the driving forces of this game. One particularly enjoyable aspect of this game was the chemistry on the court between LeBron James and Jason Kidd. Around this time, LeBron had often lobbied for his Cavs to make a trade for Kidd. It never ended up materializing, but based on what we saw from them on the court this game, it makes for a quite interesting what if. The final minutes of the game were decided by LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, and it's an unforgettable conclusion. I won't spoil it, I just recommend checking it out. Next up is Game 6 of the 1988 NBA Finals, an intense battle between two historic franchises, the Magic Johnson-led Los Angeles Lakers and the Isiah Thomas-led Detroit Pistons. The Lakers are down in the series 3-2, and it's a must-win situation for them. Late in the game, Isiah suffers a severe ankle sprain and decides to battle through it, and it translates to one of the greatest and most heroic performances of all time. The game is close to the very end, and even has some controversial moments late in the game. If you want a nail-biter with legends, tension, and drama, then this one's for you.
Facts.
I gotta sneak in a game of the GOAT every time I make one of these videos, but if you're looking for a great game of Michael being Michael, then check out Game 1 of the 1992 NBA Finals. Many of you guys are familiar with the backstory already, but Jordan and the Bulls are looking to win their second straight NBA championship. They'll be facing Clyde Drexler and the Blazers, who are looking for their first title. Meanwhile, the media has been pushing the narrative that Clyde Drexler might be as good as Michael Jordan. They have similar play styles, they're both scoring two guards, but the media is saying that Drexler is just like Jordan, except Drexler is a better three-point shooter. Just days before Game 1 is played, Michael Jordan is being interviewed and is asked about the comparison to Drexler in terms of three-point shooting, to which Jordan says, "Drexler is a better three-point shooter than I choose to be." When the game finally begins, it's Jordan who breaks multiple finals records, all while putting on a show from deep. When Jordan gave his iconic shrug, commentator Marv Albert said it indicated Jordan couldn't believe what he was doing, but that's definitely not how I interpreted it. I always understood Jordan's shrug as his way of saying, "I tried to tell you guys." Game 7 of the 1988 Eastern Conference Semifinals between the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. This is one of the greatest solo duels of all time between Larry Bird and Dominique Wilkins. The game is close, intense, and competitive. These legends will exchange baskets right up to the end. Definitely watch this one if you want to gain a greater appreciation for Dominique or Bird. This next one is one of my favorite games of all time. Game 4 of the 1995 Eastern Conference Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. Not only is it one of my favorites, but simply put, it's one of the greatest games of all time. You have Shaq, Penny, and Horace Grant all playing major roles for the Magic, while Reggie Miller is doing his usual clutch things and gets a huge helping hand from Rick Smits. The final minute is absolutely unbelievable. If you are unfamiliar with this game, please check it out, because every fan who appreciates the game's history should be familiar with this classic. 2007 playoffs, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, where LeBron's Cavs are taking on the Pistons with the series tied at 2 games. The Pistons were a few years removed from winning a championship. They were a contending team, full of proven veterans who had made it as far as the conference finals for the last 5 years straight. Meanwhile,
it's a good LeBron James game, but I'm gonna be real with you. That if the Pistons had Ben Wallace, if the Pistons never let Ben Wallace go to Chicago, this shit would have been over in 5 games. Fuck you.
LeBron was just 22 years old with a roster of guys like Larry Hughes, Anderson Varejao, and Boobie Gibson. LeBron's Cavs had no business being in this position, let alone beating the Pistons. What ensued was one of the most legendary performances of all time, as the King carried his Cavs down the stretch. If you've never seen this game, I definitely don't want to spoil the details for you, but this was the first moment where I realized LeBron's true potential.
Brother, they shoved it down
Now,
our
if you're
throats.
looking for an awesome but less talked about Kobe performance, then I would check out this regular season game against the Grizzlies in 2001. The context of this game is this is a matchup where Shaq didn't play due to a suspension because he essentially tried to destroy Brad Miller just a few nights earlier. This was one of the first games where Kobe showed us what he was capable of offensively with Shaq not on the floor. This is what he could do as the focal point of the offense. Kobe's career high prior to this game was 51 points, and he would have that beat by the end of the third quarter, which is all he would need. This was a really young Kobe, so he scored these points with his flashy athleticism combined with his sound perimeter game. I definitely recommend this one to any Kobe fan. If you're more into the powerful and dominant side of the Lakers dynasty, then I definitely recommend checking out Game 1 and Game 2 of the 2000 NBA Finals, where Shaq displayed his power and wrath in all of its glory. When I hear people make any comparisons to Shaq, these are the first 2 games I think of. He was the ultimate bully in the paint, and I still marvel at the way he tossed aside giant opposing defenders.
He was hungry
if you weren't
around
around
this
to
time.
watch these games, you should. Because the Diesel was like nothing the league has ever seen
was
before
hungry. He was
or
trying to
since,
get that ring.
and no games give you a better visual representation of that than these two. If you want to remember a player who had a small flash of utter greatness in his youth, then I recommend checking out Game 1 of the first round of the 2009 East.
No, sir. No, sir. We not gonna do that with this series right here. If you gonna watch the Boston Celtics versus the Chicago Bulls 2009 first round, you have to watch this series in its entirety, bro. This is arguably the greatest playoff series I ever witnessed. Now, I know there's probably been some greater series in the 80s and the 90s that some of the more older people, older people may have witnessed. But this right here, this was the greatest playoff series I ever experienced, bro. This was so fucking, bro. The back and forths, the series as a whole. Don't just watch it for Derrick Rose putting up 50 in a playoff game. Fuck that shit. Watch the series as a whole. This is the best basketball. This is better than the 3-1 lead Cleveland versus Golden State series. It's way better than this. This one is a back and forth. It's not coming back down from a 3-1. It's back and forth. Like, they are trading game winners. They taking shots. They getting into fights. It's playoff basketball at its finest, bro. This is the greatest playoff series I have ever witnessed in my entire life, bro. Hands down. Not even close. No other playoff series compares to this.
Playoffs, where Derrick Rose's Bulls took on Pearson Allen's Celtics. One of the greatest basketball seasons ever was 2009. There were so many special moments that year, especially in the playoffs. This series was incredible as well, and a 20-year-old Derrick Rose took over that night in his playoff debut. It's an absolute classic. If you would rather watch something from the greatest Bull himself, then I have a couple Jordan games for you to check out. First, it's what's known as the Michael Jordan Con game. It was a 1997 matchup between the Bulls and the Knicks. In short, the story is that Jeff Van Gundy, who was the coach of the Knicks, had called Jordan a con man in an interview just days before their matchup. He essentially said that Jordan was the kind of guy who would befriend guys off the court just to get an edge on them and then torch them on the court. Jordan took offense to this, and this was well known and well documented heading into the game. When the game was actually played, Jordan did not disappoint, to say the least. He was aggressive and he was angry, and you could see it on the court. After Jordan was done unleashing his wrath on the rival Knicks, he let Van Gundy hear about it. Definitely check this one out. The other Jordan game doesn't have all that backstory to it, but if you want to see a game of poetry in motion, this is the one for you. It took place in the latter half of the Bulls' 72-10 run in the 1996 season. All of Jordan's footwork and mid-range artistry was on display this game. If you're a young hooper looking to improve your technique and fundamentals, this is a terrific game from Jordan for you to study. Lastly, if you're looking for an 80s classic between the greatest NBA rivalry of all time, check out Game 1 of the 1987 Finals between the Lakers and Celtics. I used to watch this series a lot on VHS tapes as a kid, because this series was incredibly fascinating to me and still is. The contrast in style of play between Boston and Los Angeles was incredible. Boston preferred to run their offense with half-court sets and really took their time to let plays develop through the postgame, while the Lakers treated almost every single rebound like it was the start of a track meet. I've never seen a team who pushed the tempo as vigorously as the 1987 Lakers. A really intriguing contest between these two historic franchises. Let me know in the comments section what are some other great games to watch while we're chilling at home. Also let me know if you enjoyed this video, because I could definitely make more suggestions.
You ain't putting no Iverson. You ain't putting no Iverson. You ain't putting no Tracy McGrady. You ain't putting no, well, I don't know if Tim Duncan ever had a great game, but he probably do. He probably just didn't want to put it on there. But Iverson has some games like a motherfucker. A lot of people, I know y'all probably thinking, oh, game 1 of the NBA Finals. Nope. It's another game. And I always bring this up when I talk about Iverson, because this is what proved to me that I feel, in my personal opinion, that Iverson is the GOAT. I don't care what anybody say. I know he ain't got no rings, but to me, he was the GOAT. Like I said, it's a personal thing for me when it comes to Iverson. So this was a playoff game. They was facing Detroit. Iverson went up for a jump shot and he got Zaza Pachulia. In other words, the defender had his foot under in his landing spot, and he came down on the foot, rolled his ankle real bad. They took him over to the side. They put an ice on his ankle and all this stuff. Meanwhile, he watching while they putting ice on they putting ice on his ankle. They getting ready to take him to the back. While they doing all that, he's sitting up there watching. He's sitting up there watching the team as they playing. They made one mistake. I think they turned the ball over, and then they turned the ball over. They missed a shot, and then Detroit came back and scored. Then they went up and turned the ball over again, and then they scored again. And then they scored again. I think they fouled Chauncey Billups. Yeah, they fouled Chauncey Billups. Iverson took the ice off his ankle, put his shoe back on, pushed the trainer to the side, ran back to the sideline, waited so he could he tied his shoe up really tight and decided, like, fuck that, I'm not about to sit up here. Then Iverson comes back into the game. Chauncey Billups makes the layup, makes the free throw. They inbound the ball to Iverson. Iverson goes right back down the court. He just rolled his ankle. Okay, he just rolled his ankle. He got Zaza Pachulia. This man runs down the court, drives to the lane, and gets a foul. That's when I knew this nigga was different, bro. This nigga was different. Iverson was fucking different, bro. So that's a game if y'all want to watch that. And then I think he ended up dropping 30 on that entire game for the rest of that game. I think he dropped like 30. He dropped like 30 or 40. I don't know if they won. I don't remember if they won the game, but I do remember him dropping like 30 or 40 on a rolled ankle, bro. That's different, bro. That's different, bro. That's just me though. That's just my personal one. I would recommend y'all watch, you know what I'm saying? Just so y'all can understand why Iverson is him, bro. Just so y'all can understand, bro. But anyways, though, I'm going to leave it right there for right now. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Till then, peace out.